Hello there. This is Ian Nethercott with the Auto Hub Show. Good morning. Like everyone else, I look for a car from time to time. I'm not only talking about the car business, I actually buy cars myself. I'm currently in the market looking for a Ford. So I'm here on the Spikes Ford website, as you can see to my right, and we're going to check out what's changed. Here we go. So on this website, you can see I can talk to sales, I can talk to service, I can talk to parts, old school using a phone. I'm not really that into phone calls today. So let's see what other options are available. Oh, here's a chat bot. That seems to be another way that you can interface with a dealer using AI. I'm not a big fan of them. It's pretty automated. But what's this? Click for immediate live dealer assistance. That's new. Let's see what that's all about. Click below to meet with a Spikes Ford certified sales consultant. Seems pretty simple to me. So I'm choosing sales. That's what I'm doing. Meet with sales consultant. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Joel Benson here at Spikes Ford. How can I be of assistance to you?
Well, I just connected with Vidcalls here. I'm looking for a Ford, but I've never seen this before. Maybe you can tell me more about how this works.
Welcome, absolutely. Let me ask you a question first. Did the platform ask you for your name?
No,
Did it ask you for your cell phone number or your email address?
no.
No, we don't do that here at Spikes Ford. We want to do business with you and we want you to be 100% comfortable. Was the connection very quick?
Yeah, it's fast.
All right, then let's do some business. Welcome.
Thanks, Joel.
The late 2000s, 2009, 2010 was to actually send a short video to people, although it took about 9 minutes to go through. But literally you walk around the car. We do that today. Here's your car. And you could actually do that on Vidcalls at the same time. I think that would be, it's a great way to connect. Ian.
When I look at websites in every industry, I feel that there just isn't a lot of choice for a consumer other than, automated choices in a lot of cases. But what do you feel the big deal about Vidcalls is in your opinion? So let's start with Mr. Camacho. I haven't heard from him in a while. Yeah, you've been exposed to Vidcalls. What do you think is the big deal? I mean, you told us one-on-one that you're the mad scientist of automotive. I mean, what do you think the big deal is from a consumer experience versus the other options that are available on your website now?
Well, look, it's the perfect real-time option to talk to a human being when you're not sitting in a dealership. And look, the best levels of, if there is such a word, of controlling the flow of the process is live contact, in my opinion. I think the young lady mentioned it earlier, and I hope nobody takes offense to this, but I think until machines can give birth, and while people have vanity and can speak a language, human interaction is going to be desired. It's just innate. It's just going to be there until we change our forms as human beings. So, but going back to, I think also what Jeff was saying, he gave some tongue-in-cheek examples of what the communication sounds like. Okay, I think that's the biggest issue. Why has it been such a race to come up with all these different, magical pixie dusts? Is because, generally speaking, human beings don't do a great job in our industry. That's really what it comes down to. If we train our people to be engaging at a level that customers are willing to engage at, and we study their behavior and the responses more than we study what we want. Right? Because I think that's what the big problem is. We spend more time, I want to sell a car, I want to make lots of money, and I got a pork chop on the line. Okay, for that comment was for those old car guys that are out there, by the way. And I'm going to send them to Mars on a one-way trip. That's, you can't be thinking that way when you're talking to a customer, because nowadays the real positive in live communication with a customer is it is the biggest. Years ago, if they entered negotiation with you, like if you said, if I sold you the car for $1, would you buy it? They would say, yes, of course I would. Well, then of course there's a price you'd buy the car at. That's the old school way, right? Nowadays, the biggest buying signal you get from a customer is that they do allow live communication. If they allow live communication, they're very close to buying a car, because that just by allowing you to communicate live, where years ago they had no choice, right? They had to go to you. Now they can opt to have live communication versus not have live communication. If they opt to have live communication and you're engaging, your chances of selling the car are very high. And what Vidcalls says to me is, look, here's a way of having your dealership 24/7, or those who are either willing or directed to be available 24/7. Call comes in, the customer opts into live communication. Those customers are raising their hands saying, I'm a question or two away of buying a car. And I guess this is it in a nutshell for a minute. And I'd like you all to think about this for a minute. Salespeople sit in the showroom, right? They stare out the window like years ago in some dealerships. And they would rather wait for a customer to walk in the door that they know nothing about, have no idea what their credit score is, have no idea what the trade looks like, have no idea what their personality is, no idea what they come from, what their income status. They know nothing about these people, yet they'd rather stare out the window and wait for that person, who today is 10% of their business, versus engaging in the online opportunities to create engagement with the customer, like Steve and I were talking about, where they want to communicate, for the purpose of bringing them to live communication, to engage them to sell a car. Where a customer coming through the door, they say the same things they always used to say. They give you 5 different reasons why they're not buying anything today, and after they gather their information, they blow you off and they go someplace else and they buy a car. The average customer comes into 1.2 dealerships before they buy a car. Are we going to be the 1.0 or the 0.2? I think the 1.0 revolves more around how do we elevate customers to live communication by using the digital tools that are available to us. Vidcalls allows us, at least for a portion of that population, for the people who will opt in, to page past all of the other digital tools or when they're ready, in either case, to get to that live communication where they might not necessarily walk through the door before they've had it. So I think it's an excellent technology, and I think I don't know, for me, it makes all the sense in the world.
Hey, Bill, how about the fact of how simple Joel's system is, and that it allows us to add one more component? How about a big thing that flashes up and says, would you like to talk to a live person? I think that's going to trigger a lot of responses.
Yeah.
Listen, I guarantee you this. If you attach, and Joel, you may want to think about this, how to embed Vidcalls in the chat box. So that a customer can say, would you like to elevate to communication with a live person? Click here, click, boom, you got a person on the screen.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it will work. It will work, and it can be done extremely easy. All we do is put a link in the chat bot, and they click on it, and they're meeting.
And Joel, don't worry about insulting the chat bots. The only people listening were the chat bots. So
it's a phenomenon. You would think that the whole world would be thinking about it, right? But we're so busy going in the other direction, looking for technology to do the work for us. How about using the technology to bring the customers to us to do the work?